Students, welcome back to another video. This is part 2 of manufacturing industries, chapter 6, class 10. We'll continue from where we have left off. So shall we begin? In the yesterday's video, we have completed the agro based industries, and in mineral based we have completed the iron and steel. Today we are going to look at the aluminium smelting. Now, aluminium smelting is the second most important metallurgical industry. It is light, resistant to corrosion, a good conductor of heat, malleable, and becomes strong when it is mixed with other metals. These are the features of aluminium. Why it is used? It is used to manufacture aircraft, utensils, wires. It has gained a huge popularity as of a substitute to steel and copper, zinc, lead in a number of industries. Aluminium smelting plants in the country are located in Odisha because bauxite is produced more in Odisha. West Bengal, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. This not necessarily. Bauxite, the raw material used in the smelters, is a very bulky and dark reddish colored rock. Now we are going to study about how it is extracted. A regular supply of electricity and an assured source of raw material at minimum cost are the prime factors for the location. If you have electricity and raw material at cheaper cost, then you should have aluminium plants in that area. Now this is strip coasting mill at smelter of NALCO. Now just take a look at this last box. Okay, we'll call the bird back. 4 to 6 tons of bauxite, 2 tons of alumina is extracted from it, 1 ton of aluminum can be made. How the process of manufacturing in aluminum industry? Look at this. Bauxite is the raw material transported via rail or ship. Bauxite is crushed and alumina dissolved out. Then bulk ore shipped to site of smelting, calcinated petroleum coke from a refinery, pitch from a colliery. Now these are all very scientific terms. I wouldn't want to explain those. You can please read about it because you will have in 10th the aluminium smelting also in chemistry. Cryolite, a molten metal, acts as an electrolyte, is added to aluminium smelting. And the electricity, look at this electricity per ton of ore, it's 18,600 kilowatt. Next, we will look into the chemical industry. The chemical industry in India is fast growing and diversifying. It contributes approximately about 3% of the GDP, third largest in Asia, and occupies 12th place in the world. It comprises both large and small scale. Chemical, there are two types, that is inorganic and organic. Inorganic includes sulfuric acid that is used to manufacture fertilizers, synthetic fibers, plastic, adhesives, paints, dyes and stuff. Nitric acid, alkali, soda ash that is used to make glass, soaps and detergents and paper. And caustic soda, that is all the inorganic chemicals. The organic chemicals include petrochemicals such as synthetic fibers, rubber, plastic, dye stuff, drugs and pharmaceuticals. Organic chemical plants are located near oil refineries or petrochemical plants. Like we have MRPL and MCF nearby. The chemical industry is its own largest consumer. Basic chemicals undergo processing to further produce other chemicals that are used for industrial application, agriculture and directly for consumer markets. Make a list of the products you are aware of. If you know, you can comment it in the comment box. Fertilizer industry is also one of the chemical industry. It is centered around the production of nitrogenous fertilizers, mainly urea, phosphatic fertilizers and ammonium phosphate, that is DAP, and complex fertilizers which have a combination of NPK, that is nitrogen, phosphate and potash. Potash is entirely imported as the country does not have any reserves of commercially usable potash or potassium compounds in any form. India is the third largest producer of nitrogenous fertilizers. There are 57 fertilizer units manufacturing nitrogenous and complex nitrogenous fertilizers, 29 for urea and 9 for producing ammonium sulfate as a byproduct, and 68 other small units produce single superphosphate. At present, 10 public sector industry undertakings and 1 in cooperative sector at Hazira in Gujarat. The Fertilizer Corporation of India has it. After the Green Revolution, the industry expanded to several other parts of the country. Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, UP, Punjab, Kerala contribute towards the half of the production. Other significant producers are Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Rajasthan, Bihar, Maharashtra, Assam, West Bengal, Goa, Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, and Karnataka. Pretty much 75% of India. Cement industry. Cement is essential for construction activities such as building houses, factories, bridges, roads, airports, dams. This industry requires bulky and heavy raw material like limestone, silica, alumina, and gypsum. Coal and electric power are needed apart from railway transportation, right? The first cement plant was set up in Chennai in 1904. After independence, the industry expanded the control of price and distribution since 1989, and the other policy has led the cement industry to make rapid strides in capacity, process and technology and production. Now we are having more production in cement. There are 128 large plants and 332 mini cement plants in the country. That is obviously going to be more. Improvement in the quality has found the produce a readily available market in East Asia. Ultratech Cement, Ambuja Cement, Binani Cement, you just name ACC Cement. So many cement factories. Middle East, Africa, South Asia, apart from a large demand within the country, we have a demand for cement. The industry is doing well in terms of production as well as export. You already know it because cement is used in a lot of construction, every construction activity. Efforts are being made to generate adequate domestic demand and supply in order to sustain the demand in the country. Automobile industry, it's an interesting one. Automobiles provide vehicles for quick transport of goods, services and passengers. It includes trucks, buses, cars, motorcycles, scooters, three-wheelers, multi-utility vehicles, MUV, sport utility vehicles, the SUV, the TUV. After the liberalization, the coming in of new and contemporary models stimulated the demand for vehicles in the market. Because of the globalization, you can have the foreign brands in India, which led to a healthy growth of the industry, including the passenger cars, two and three wheelers. This industry had experienced a quantum jump in less than 15 years. FDI, that's foreign direct investment, has brought in new technology and aligned the industry with global developments. At present, there are 15 manufacturers of passenger cars and multi-utility vehicles, 9 of commercial vehicles and 14 of the 2 and 3 wheelers. This industry is mainly located around in Delhi, Gurgaon, Mumbai, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, Lucknow, Indore, Hyderabad, Jamshedpur and Bengaluru. Chennai, normally, right? You will see the BMW plant in Chennai. Previously, we used to import the luxury vehicles to India, which actually attracted a lot of import tax duty. Now what happens is the car companies have their own manufacturing plants, assembling plants in India, thus making the price of the luxury cars much cheaper than they used to be. Information technology and electronic industry, you already know that Silicon Valley, right? Silicon Valley, Bengaluru is also called as the IT hub or the Silicon Valley of India. The electronic industry covers a wide range of products from transistor sets to television, telephones, cellular telecom, pagers, telephone exchange, radars, computers and other equipments. Bengaluru has emerged as the electronic capital of India. Electronic city भी बोलते हैं उसको. Other important centers for electronic goods are Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, Lucknow and Coimbatore. They have something called as software technology parks in these locations. There are other locations as well, like Bangalore, Noida, Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, and Pune. A major impact of this industry is being on employment generation. A lot of youth are aiming to become software engineers. They're joining the software field, so it's a lucrative job opportunity for them. This industry has been a major foreign exchange earner in last 2 to 3 years because of the fast growing business process outsourcing, BPO. The continuing growth of the hardware and the software is the key to the success of the IT industry. You also have might have dreamt about becoming a software engineer one day. Now it's the last we have come to, that is the environmental pollution. This is pretty simple because already we have done this. You might have read about this numerous times, but let's read this in accordance with the industry. Industrial pollution and environmental degradation. Although industries contribute significantly to India's economic growth, there is increase in pollution of land, water, air, and noise. We're going to take one by one, look at one by one. Air pollution. Air pollution is caused by the presence of high proportion of undesirable gases such as sulfur dioxide and carbon monoxide. Airborne particulate materials contain both solid and liquid particles like dust, spray, mist, and smoke. Smoke is emitted by the chemical and paper factories, brick kilns, refineries, melting plants, burning of fossil fuels in the small, big industries. Toxic gas leaks can be very hazardous also, like remember the Bhopal gas tragedy that occurred right recently. The gas leak also happened. Please comment on the gas leak that you have heard about recently in the corona outbreak in the comment box. Now this is what the explanation, this is the picture for air pollution. Next comes the water pollution. It is caused by organic and inorganic industrial waste and effluents discharged into rivers. The main culprits in this regard are paper, pulp, chemical, textile, and dyeing, petroleum refineries, tanneries, electroplating industries that let out dyes, detergents, acid, salt, and heavy metals like lead and mercury, pesticides, fertilizers, chemicals, and all these things. If you let them into the water bodies, they are going to create pollution. Fly ash, phospho, gypsum, and iron and steel slag are also a major solid waste in India. Like this. Thermal pollution of water occurs when hot water from factories and thermal plants is drained into rivers and ponds before cooling. What will be the effect? Waste from nuclear power plants, nuclear weapon production facilities causes cancer, birth defects, and miscarriages. Dumping of waste, especially glass, harmful chemicals, industrial effluents, salts, and garbage renders the soil useless. Rainwater percolates to the soil, carrying the pollutants to the ground, and the groundwater also gets contaminated. Thermal pollution. Next comes the noise pollution. Noise pollution not only results in irritation and anger, it can also cause hearing impairment, increased heart rate, and blood pressure, among other physiological effects. Unwanted sound is an irritant and a source of stress. It's not like somebody singing a song. Industrial and construction activities, machinery, factory equipment, generators, saw, pneumatic and electrical drills also make a lot of noise, which creates noise pollution. This picture will explain a lot of things. Now, how do you control the environmental degradation? That you can do very simply. Minimizing use water for processing by reusing, recycling in one or more successive stages. How do you do it? Harvesting of rainwater to meet water requirements, treating hot water and effluents before releasing them in rivers. Now, this can be done in three phases. First, primary treatment. What do you do with this? Screening, grinding, flocculation, and sedimentation. First, you separate, right? Second one is biological process. Third one is by biological, chemical, and physiological process. Physical process. This involves recycling of wastewater. But you should remember the two important things, that is reuse and recycle. Overdrawing of groundwater reserves by industry where there is a threat to groundwater resources also needs to be regulated legally. Particulate matter in the air can be reduced by fitting smokestacks to the factories with electrostatic precipitators, fabric filters and scrubbers and inertial separators. Oh, so much of science in here. Smoke can be reduced by using oil or gas instead of coal in factories. Machinery and equipment can be used and generators should be fitted with silencers, obviously to create less sound, right? Almost all the machinery can be redesigned to increase energy efficiency and reduce noise. Noise absorbing material can be used also. Now comes the last one, that is NTPC. What is NTPC? NTPC is National Thermal Power Corporation. NTPC is a major power providing corporation in India. It has ISO certification for EMS 14001. What does the NTPC do? Optimum utilization of equipment, adopting the latest techniques and upgrading the existing equipment, minimizing the waste generation by maximizing ash utilization, providing green belts for nurturing ecological balance, reducing environmental pollution through ash pond management, ash water recycling, and liquid waste management. Last one is ecological, monitoring reviews and online database management for all its power station which come under the NTPC. Ramagundam plant is also an example. Neyveli is also there. Now comes the map practice. I suggest you take your map and practice. Now these maps are for locating and labeling too. First, we are going to look at the cotton textile. These are the 5 cotton textiles. Those are prescribed by the CBSE. We'll go one by one. Mumbai, right? Indore, Surat, Kanpur, and Coimbatore. Coimbatore is very important, guys. I suggest Coimbatore. Indore also. Mumbai is very easy to locate. So these 5 are for cotton textiles. No jute, no silk in the example. Second one are the iron and steel plants. Obviously, we are going to locate Durgapur, right? Bokaro, Durgapur in West Bengal and Bokaro in Jharkhand. Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. Bhilai, Chhattisgarh. Salem, Tamil Nadu. Vijayanagar, Karnataka. So it's 6, right? We have done 6. These 6 are prescribed for iron and steel plant. Last one is software technology parks. There are 8. We're going to look at all of them. We'll start by the biggest one, that is Bengaluru. No, this is not Bengaluru. This is Bengaluru. This is Mysuru, by the way. Next comes Hyderabad, right? Hyderabad is shown in Andhra Pradesh here. We'll have Telangana here. Next is Chennai, obviously this you know. Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. Then comes Noida, Gandhinagar in Gujarat, Noida in UP, and Delhi border there. Mumbai and Pune. These 8 are important software technology parks which will be there for the CBSE this year. I suggest you take the map, physically do it, locate it, then only you will get the mapping skill, right? So that brings to the end of the chapter, guys. Thank you for watching, and it's been lovely. And I know this chapter is a little tricky one. You have to watch it again and again to get the idea. It is more based on scientific data or scientific terminology, so please go through it again. It is my humble request. So till the next video, it's goodbye from me,